Ever asked yourself how a program knows what to do next? How it checks if your age is enough, or if two values match, or which number is larger? Well, that's the job of comparison operators. In this video, you'll learn how to make your C++ programs think, compare, and decide. Whether you're writing a quiz, a login form, or a game, comparison logic is everywhere. Stick around, because mastering these tiny symbols will unlock the true power of conditions in your code. So, what exactly are comparison operators in C++? Simply put, they're the tools your program uses to ask questions and make decisions. Just like you might wonder in real life, is it raining today? Did I get enough sleep? Is my score higher than yesterday? In C++, we use comparison operators to ask similar questions between two values. For example, is A equal to B? That's A equals B. Is age greater than 18? That's age greater than 18. These comparisons return a Boolean value, either true or false. And that result can control an if statement, a loop, or even more advanced logic. In other words, comparison operators are the brains behind every decision in your code. And without them, your program wouldn't be able to think at all. Now let's explore what these operators actually are. And how to use them like a pro. C++ gives us 6 main comparison operators, and once you know how they work, you'll be able to express any logical comparison in your code. Let's walk through each one step by step. First, we have equal to. This checks if two values are the same. Example, A equal to B returns true if both A and B hold the same number. Next, not equal to. It returns true when the values are different. So a not equal to B means, A is not equal to B. Then there's less than. It checks if the left side is strictly smaller. Like a less than be true if A is smaller than B. The opposite is greater than. It returns true if the left value is strictly bigger than the right one. Like a greater than B. Then we have the inclusive versions, less than or equal to. So a less than or equal to B is true when A is less than or equal to B. And finally, greater than or equal to. A greater than or equal to B is true when A is greater than or equal to B. These operators might look small, but they form the foundation of all conditions. Whether you're checking a password, validating input, or comparing scores in a game. In C++, each of these comparisons evaluates to a Boolean, true for yes, false for no, and that. Now that you've seen the main comparison operators, let's explore how we actually use them. Not just with numbers, but with variables and expressions. In C++, you can compare a variable with a constant, two variables, or even two full expressions. For example, if you write age greater than or equal to 18, you're checking whether the value stored in the age variable is 18 or more. It doesn't matter if age came from user input or a calculation, comparison operators will handle it the same way. Here's another case, score equals max score. That compares the values stored in two variables, and returns true if they're equal. You can also compare expressions, like, A plus B, equals C multiply by 2. C++ will evaluate both sides first, then perform the comparison. The key thing to remember is this: as long as both sides result in values of the same type, you can compare almost anything. Variables, constants, or math operations, it's all fair game. This flexibility makes comparison operators extremely powerful in real-world programming logic. Now that you've learned how comparison operators work, let's see them in action. One of their most common uses is inside conditional statements like if, while, or for. Here's how it works. When you write something like if, score greater than or equal to 50, the comparison score greater than or equal to 50 is evaluated first. If it returns true, the code inside the if block will run. If it returns false, it'll be skipped. Think of it like asking your program a yes or no question. Did the user pass the exam? Yes. Run success message. No. Try again. You can use any comparison operator here, equal to, not equal to, less than, greater than or equal to, and so on, depending on what you're checking. This is the true power of comparison. It lets your code react to different values, inputs, and situations, in real time. Before we move on, let's clear up a mistake that almost every beginner makes at some point. And that is, confusing the assignment operator equals with the comparison operator equals equals. They might look similar, but they do completely different things. Equals is used to assign a value to a variable. Equals equals is used to compare two values. So if you accidentally write, if x equals 5. You're not checking if x is 5, you're actually assigning 5 to x, which always returns true. That's a silent bug, and one of the trickiest to catch. The correct way to compare is, if x equals 5. Now your program is asking, is x equal to 5? Another common issue is forgetting parentheses or mixing up operators like greater than and less than. These can all lead to logic errors, where the code compiles but behaves incorrectly. So whenever you write a condition, take a second to double-check, am I comparing? Or accidentally assigning? It'll save you hours of debugging later. Let's bring everything together with a simple live coding example. In this mini program, we'll ask the user to enter two numbers, and then we'll compare them using our comparison operators. First, we declare two variables, x and y, to store the user's input. Then we use cin to take input from the keyboard, int x, y, cout, enter two numbers, cin x, y. Now comes the fun part, we compare those two values. If x equal to y, that means both numbers are equal. If x greater than y, we'll say the first number is greater. Otherwise, we know y must be greater. Let's write the condition, if x equal to y, cout both numbers are equal, else if x greater than y. Cout first number is greater, else. Cout second number is greater. Try it out with different values. For example, input, for 4 output, both numbers are equal. Input, 7 2 output, first number is greater. Input, 3 9 output, second number is greater. This is a real-world use of comparison operators in decision-making. And you'll use this pattern again and again in your programming journey. Alright, time for a quick quiz. Take a look at this code and try to guess what it prints. Int a equals 4, b equals 4, cout to not equal to b, and l, cout to greater than or equal to b. You've got 4 options, a, 1 1, b, 0 1, c, 1 0, d, 0 0. Take a moment to pause the video if you need to think about it. Ready? Let's break it down. First, a not equal to b is false, because 4 is equal to 4. So that prints 0. Then, a greater than or equal b is true, because 4 is indeed greater than or equal to 4. So that prints 1. Final output, 0 1. So the correct answer is B. If you got that right, awesome. If not, don't worry. Now you see how these tiny comparisons can have a big impact. Let's go just a bit deeper, and look at how comparison results are actually stored in memory. In C++, the result of any comparison is a Boolean value, which means it's either true or false. But here's something interesting. Under the hood, true is actually stored as the number 1, and false is stored as 0. That's why, when you print the result of a comparison, you often see a 1 or a 0 instead of the words true or false. For example, cout 5 less than 10, prints 1, cout 10 equal to 3, prints 0. It's the same logic, just a different representation. And because of that, you can even store comparison results inside variables. Like this, bool result equals, x not equal to y, now, result will be true or false, and you can use it later in conditions or output. This little detail makes C++ super flexible, and it's something you'll see a lot as you write more advanced code. Awesome work, you've just mastered one of the most important tools in C++, comparison operators. Now your code can check conditions, make decisions, and react to the world around it. But we're just getting started. In the next video, we'll take your logic to the next level with functions in C++. How to group your code into reusable blocks, pass values, return results, and write cleaner programs. So if you've ever asked, how do I avoid repeating code? This next lesson is for you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss it. This is Codeverse, and we're building your C++ skills, one clean line at a time.